It would seem as though.
Hi.
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 Oh my God, we are here.
I know.
We have changed studios today.
Yeah.
We are now in the Shea Diaz.
Yes, that is my house. Welcome to my house. We're on location.
We're recording on location.
This is
today.
what, the second time we've filmed.
Yeah,
we've
I
recorded
think
here?
so. I
Yeah.
think so. I took the big trek across the backyard to come to your house.
I know you had to commute today.
I did have the commute. It was a long commute.
Long one, yep.
And I was trying to carry coffee and my umbrella and my computer.
Too much.
Yep. And so I had my Sherpa,
I
bring it for
through
me.
the
'Cause I was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the 100th episode of It Would Seem As Though.
Where's your sound machine, bitch?
Oh, my son has it.
Oh.
Woo!
That's a lot of applause. We did it.
Yes,
we
we sure
it.
did. We're at episode 100 of It Would Seem As Though, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing.
Mostly nothing.
Yeah, a lot of nothing sometimes.
A lot of nothing.
But sometimes, I found out yesterday.
Okay, tell me.
From one of my good Judys, my actual cousin Ann.
Yeah.
She was saying how she likes to listen to us because she laughs her head off.
Yeah.
But she also learns stuff.
Okay.
And she said, I like how Annika, the brains of the operation, will say these things and use her big brain and her big words and stuff. And then you kind of break it down and talk about it in ways that the rest of us can understand.
Sure.
I was like, so I dumb it down.
You translate. You're a translator.
I translate it to dumb.
Perfect. Yes, you are helping people communicate.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, though, because I know that my brain does not compete with yours with that kind of stuff. I have my other specialties, like I have tons and tons of useless knowledge.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Won't get me a college degree.
But you know what?
College graduate.
Look, I know, I'm graduated. I've been literally saying that since I graduated to everybody. Did you know I graduated?
I'm sorry, I'm a college graduate.
I have 2 degrees. Like, and we're watching a movie. I'm like, hey, babe, did you know that I graduated? Like, out of no reason.
You're watching a Christmas movie. Hey, did you know?
Yeah, I was watching Muppet Christmas Carol. Nowhere do they talk about college.
All right, so now that you brought that up,
okay.
I just want to talk about Muppet Christmas Carol for a moment.
Okay.
Because it is one of my favorite versions of A Christmas Carol.
Agreed.
And I love that through the whole movie...
You're going to say what I already think.
What?
Yep. It's that Michael Caine plays a straight man the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he's not like he's acting with Muppets.
No.
Like, he's acting with
He's
in a
acting
drama.
with, Laurence Olivier and Dame Judi Dench and
it's
whatever.
Wonderful.
Even though it's, Kermit and Miss Piggy. He is chewing up the scenery.
Yep.
And giving you an Oscar-worthy performance in a movie with Muppets.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. I watch it. I think I watch it about every year just because it's so nostalgic for me. But, watching it, I was like, God damn, he is so brilliant in this. And
he really is.
Acting with Muppets. And it was a huge deviation from watching, the series, the little mini series, which is intense and great. But I was like, I need to watch some Muppets because I love the Muppet movies, girl.
Well, I have discovered.
Okay.
Because I've watched,
Oh, okay, Christopher Columbus, what have you discovered?
Oh, like Christopher Columbus, I discovered nothing.
Okay.
I have learned, how was that from watching the hundreds of Christmas movies I've been watching, that a huge amount of them are based on either A Christmas Carol or Groundhog's Day. So it's like I'm reliving Christmas over and over until I do it right. And it's like some of the ones where they do a creative spin on A Christmas Carol I love. Yeah. And some of them I'm like, really?
Girl, I think...
But I watched one the other day that I just loved. It was called The Ghost of Christmas Always.
Okay.
It was super cute and funny and had some twists I didn't expect.
Sure,
and all the people in it were adorable.
I love it.
Yeah.
I found our new gig. I found what we should do.
What?
Because you and Gavin have watched... And I mean, I also love Christmas. And I will watch Christmas, listen to Christmas year-round. Not a big deal. But you and Gavin are you both have Hallmark subscriptions. You've watched 400 Christmas movies this year. I think we should write Christmas movies because it would be a different twist. And it's obviously a fucking market, but we could give some perspective because since you've all seen, I don't know, every Christmas movie ever made hundreds of times, we could give a different spin. You know what the people want.
What's annoying about the Hallmark Christmas movies, and I've watched a ton of them.
Oh, what's the one thing that's annoying? Tell me.
Well, one of the things is that so many of them have virtually the same plot.
Oh, all the time, yeah.
And it's like, big city girl comes back to the country for whatever reason, to help out her family, for
the holidays?
Whatever it is. But she's coming home for the holidays. And it's rarely ever just because she wants to spend Christmas with her family.
Okay.
She doesn't really want to spend Christmas with them. At all. She's doing it begrudgingly.
Yeah.
But she has to do something.
Like, God damn it, both my parents broke all their limbs.
And I gotta go help them.
Gotta go back to Connecticut.
Right. And so then she gets there and is kind of salty about it.
Right. Same.
And somehow the most attractive man in town is still single.
Right.
And so she meets him.
Yeah.
And they have that little weird friction back and forth.
Yeah.
She doesn't like him. She likes him. There's chemistry, whatever. And then always in the third act, there's some big dust up where they can't be together. They hate each other. Yep. It's all over. Mm-hmm. And then in the fourth act, they get together. And she generally moves back to the country. Leaves her big city gig.
Right.
Because the country's so much better. Well, I've noticed this year, and so that's the part that it's like it's the same story.
Yeah.
I've noticed this year 2 things. One is that instead of it's like at the end of the movie when they've known each other for a week, they're getting married, they love each other, it's like that they will now go 1 year later.
Oh.
And you fast forward to a year later and they're getting proposing or whatever. They're still not married.
Okay.
You know.
Interesting.
And so I like that, but also with a lot of them now, it's like, well, we're going to figure out a way for you to, have your big city career.
Yeah.
And whatever, we're going to commute or, I'm going to move to the city. And there have been some where the man is like, well, I'm going to move to the city to be with you.
I love that.
And I'm like, it's about time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I've also noticed that a ton of them this year are featuring, like, interracial couples.
About it.
And there's ones with, I watched one with an Asian family. I think they were Korean.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like they were doing their thing.
Okay.
And I love that. I was like, well, cool. We get to see some other cultures now.
Yeah, they're breaking out.
It's not all just these pasty white people.
I know. Well, because like literally every Christmas movie that's like a romance Christmas movie that I see on like Netflix or whatever, it's always some dark-haired, blue-eyed white guy with some like 5 o'clock shadow who's like clean cut, who looks like he should be an executive of a business, but he's like chopping wood, right? Or he's like has like a little cafe or something like that, right? And he's a GQ fucking model, and then the bitch is like, I just can't believe I'm going home. Like, what? What do you mean? And you don't want to go home?
I hate everyone. They're making me go home. Fuck off.
Yeah, right. The whole turn of events, and then everything's so picture perfect. I'm like, how quaint, just how precious.
And she gets there, and they're all like, "Oh my god, we haven't seen you in years." Yet everyone in town recognizes her, even though they haven't seen her.
They recognize her, and they know everything about her.
Right.
But they're like, "Where have you been? You look so different." Wait a minute.
What has happened to you? Mm-hmm. Although I've caught up because your mother, does that yearly Christmas letter. Yeah. That tells it. By the way,
sending out a newsletter about your daughter.
I don't know how anybody else feels about the Christmas letter. I fucking hate them.
Is that a thing?
It is a thing. Okay. I mean, it's not as much of a thing now as it used to be, I don't think. Okay. But there used to be a big, where people every year would send out a letter.
Okay.
And this is what our family has done this year. This is the amazing shit that we've done. This is the whatever.
Yeah.
The trials and tribulations we've been through.
Sure.
I don't care.
Well, it's because, listen, girl, we're not getting it in long text form anymore because we're getting it in small doses on social media.
Right. That is true.
We're just getting little blips and bloops.
I just got one yesterday. That I was all...
A Christmas letter?
Yeah, a Christmas letter.
I've never...
And one of T's friends sends one every year. But she's old. I mean, she's older than I am, so she's old. Anything older than me is old, including me. But it's like... it always feels, even if they include, like, and this bad thing happened, it still always feels a little braggy to me, like...
Okay.
And then my children, who are geniuses, won the McCarthy grant, it's like, whatever it is. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. It's lovely for you.
Yeah. Well, I think it's again, that old generation. Things are phasing out so much, right? And new things are coming in, and literally what's changed everything has been social media. Yeah. And good and bad, whatever. But this is off topic, but
Oh, do we have a topic?
Or no. Off what we were just talking about. Christmas and all of that. But just sidebar, social media, you know, every, like, war that we've ever had prior to now, no one was able to document that rapidly of, like, what's happening. No. And now we have that capability, and that's the difference is social media. The social media has changed
everything.
How we protest, how we connect, everything, yeah. So, like...
Yeah, well, because, like, even... You know, I love to send out Christmas cards, and I do it every year.
Yeah.
And I notice every year that there are fewer and fewer that are coming to me because fewer and fewer people send them out.
Yeah.
Well, and I get that, but now everybody sends like a little happy little emoji on their phone, you know, text you a little Merry Christmas GIF or whatever. And do you say GIF or do you say GIF?
I say GIF.
Okay, me too, because it's spelled with a G, so it looks like GIF.
It's not
me.
GIF.
But I've heard lots of people call it a GIF.
And I only hear Trixie Mattel call it a GIF.
RuPaul calls it a GIF.
I also think that's all supposed to be like silly and stupid.
You think so?
I don't think it's supposed to be on purpose.
Okay.
I think
like giraffe is spelled like that.
I think maybe they called it a GIF once, and their people said that's not what it is, and she's like, "Well, it's a GIF now." You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and I love that the first time I heard Kennedy Davenport talking about memes, she was like, called it a meme.
Yeah, a meme. I
was like, that's not right. But like on Christmas Day, I will get a ton of texts with a cute little Christmas picture and whatever.
Sure.
I was like, that's fine. That's nice.
Yeah.
But I also, like on my birthday prior to social media, a few people would call me and say happy birthday or send me a birthday card or whatever. I now literally get hundreds of birthday well wishes, and I love that. Mm-hmm. I do. I love that because I think that's really sweet. And it's easier.
And it's less wasteful.
Yeah, there's no paper wasted. There's no...
And like they're still thinking about you. It's just like and I like that. Whatever, send stuff if you want to send stuff. I just like that it's phasing out of that. Not that everything needs to be digital, but I think even more so like go see them, or go have interaction with them opposed to being like, well, because sometimes they feel like card sending, Christmas card, birthday card. There's a calendar and a regimen. Do you know what I mean? It's just very, like, ritualized. Yes. It's not... I don't know. I feel like it's covering your ass. You know what I mean? Well, yeah. A little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, and I started doing it really for... Like, I would give one to each of my clients that came in between, you know, the day after Thanksgiving and the end of the year. So if I saw them in that time, I would have a Christmas card for them. You know, just say, I appreciate you, whatever.
Totally.
And then I was like, well, but I should also send them out to the people I love who I don't see in my salon or whatever, who are friends, family, whatever. And it kind of, you know, spiraled from there.
And now she sends one to
and
everybody.
Now I think I sent out and gave out 80, 90 Christmas cards. I don't know. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
You know, but whatever.
Damn, girl, do you have carpal tunnel?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Do you make your family sign their own names?
No. God, no. That would take all day.
Yeah.
Because some of... Parker still doesn't actually have a signature. He just, like, scribbles out his name.
Yeah.
Which... I'm not sure how old... Like, how old were you when you... Do you remember when you started actually having a signature?
I mean, I remember signing my name, though, like, younger. Because, you know, I remember practicing it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. On a different... I wanted to share this with you just because I thought it was so funny. I love the audiobooks. I've been listening to audiobooks. Okay. I just listened to the one of Melissa Gilbert. This guy, I think it was called Back to the Prairie or whatever.
And who does she sound like?
She sounds like Lisa Simpson.
That's right. Okay. You made me listen to it.
Because when I first was like, why... Is Yardley Smith, or Yardley, I'm not sure how you say it. I think it's Yardley Smith, is she doing this book for her? Because it's like, they sound the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Lisa Simpson doing the voice of Melissa.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was cute. It was a cute book. It was mostly like, oh, here's how I live now on a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm back to the prairie. Good for you. Whatever. But I started yesterday listening to... Nick Offerman and Megan Mullally.
Oh my god, I love.
They wrote a book. It's called "The Best Love Story Ever Told," or "The Greatest Love Story Ever Told."
Okay,
but it sounds like a conversation of the two of them.
I love
like sitting at their kitchen table, talking about how they met and how their life has been, and just the different things. But even as much as it's like, well, I think that this happened this time. Was it that? And no, it wasn't then. It was the. And so it's like this literally. Instead of being a book, it really is like a conversation.
I love it.
And they're both so funny.
So funny, yeah. And they're great. And Nick Offerman owns a hardware store in Los Angeles. And he hires predominantly queer people.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that cute?
I did not know.
I love them both so much.
Because they're both hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today,
yeah,
as I mentioned at the top of the show, is our 100th episode.
It sure is.
Which,
woo!
Wow.
That's
crazy, right?
That means it's been over 2 years. Nope, almost 2
We're
years.
almost at the 2-year mark.
Yeah.
So season 3 is going to be starting in just 4 weeks.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah. So, but for our 100th episode, we thought it would be fun to kind of just look back on some of the things we've talked about.
Yeah.
And do a couple other fun things. One of the things I wanted to mention, and this is about both of us, really, is, and it started, and I said this to you the other day, it started the other day when on my Facebook memories it popped up the pictures of your wedding.
Yeah.
Your first wedding.
Okay.
Because she's been married a lot.
Yeah, like a million.
Yeah, she's now on like 17, I think.
Yeah.
It's her and Liz Taylor.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it popped up and I was, instead of going, oh, there's some cute, all of it, it's like even the pictures that didn't have your ex-husband in them.
Yeah.
I was just like, ugh, tainted.
Yeah.
But it made me think, and I said this to you yesterday, because you're now in a really healthy relationship.
Yeah, it's weird.
With a really great guy.
Yeah.
That this is the first relationship that, at the 1 year mark, which you just passed, that there's no red flags. No. Oh, maybe this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, oh my God, who's this disaster that I'm with?
Yeah.
And how did we get here?
Yeah.
So it's so nice, because I know all of my relationships before my husband now.
Yeah.
It was like, because people ask me about why didn't I have children earlier?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I didn't want to raise children with any of these people.
No.
And I didn't want to be tied to them for life, because once you have children with someone, you're tied to them for life.
Yeah, whether you're married or not.
Right, whether you're married or not. And I was like, and I knew enough to go, oh no, I don't, this isn't going to last forever.
Not,
until I met T, and then it was like, oh, okay, this is it. This is what this is supposed to be like.
Sure, yeah.
And it's funny because someone asked me once, they're like, well, so there's nothing about him you would change? And I'm like, there's nothing about him I need to change. Yeah. If I was going to change anything, it would be like that he felt more comfortable in social situations or whatever. Just things for his mental health
that are like benign.
That would make him feel better.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, you do this thing and I need you to stop doing this thing.
Right. And it's not like it's not like anything that you would quote unquote change is super impactful to you or to him. You know what I mean? It's not like a major issue. It's not like, well, I would change your height and your weight and what you look like, and it would change your job. You know what I mean? It's not like calling it out.
I already did all that. I changed his height and his weight.
Yeah, his race, his ethnicity, his religion.
The height was the hardest one to change.
How did you change that?
Magic.
Which
Magic. I put him on.
Got his knees done.
That stretch thing. That, what do you call that?
It was a torture device,
ma'am.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I have one.
Oh,
and so I just strap him to it just once a night for a couple hours.
Once a night?
Yeah, just
for a couple
little bit.
Hours.
Just for a little bit.
Since when? Since he was 21?
Yeah.
Oh.
So over 20 years.
No, he should be much fucking taller.
He was 4'2" when I met him.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
6'1".
I'm pretty sure he was not 4'2".
He was not. He was not.
No.
And actually, I never tried to change anything.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I know. I think that's like getting, for me, it's like getting older, though. Being like, none of the things that mattered to me as a youth really matter now. Do you know what I mean? When I think about partnership or relationship or marriage or love or any of that. But, I mean, yeah, it's been different. And Gavin and I talked about that because it's been, a little over a year and a month or something. But it is very strange to be in a relationship where it's not, it feels better than than the beginning, but the beginning was also just like amazing. So it's a really weird place. And people always want to say like the honeymoon period. And I've been again in relationships where that's a thing.
Yeah,
and like, no,
absolutely.
it's not, but like we have a routine, we have a life. It's not like we're just vacationing every day. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and in the past year, a lot has happened. I've had 2 dogs put down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had surgery. I got really and I got really fucking sick. Do you know what I mean? Gavin moved in. Like, so much happened.
God. That was right after you met him.
You
got, like, sick that you thought you were going to die sick.
It was 2 months after we met. Yeah. And then I stayed.
But that's really early in a relationship, and you were so sick that he had to take care of you. Mm-hmm. Also, that was so telling to me.
Yeah,
that early in a relationship, he was like, "Yeah, I'll take care of you. I will run you baths. I will do whatever you need. Read you poetry in the bathtub. I mean, come on."
I know. Well, and like,
who is this man, and where did he come from?
Crazy, right? And took me to like 3 different doctors, ran me around to pharmacies, and I'm like wearing a mask and spitting in towels and crying the whole time. Like it was insane. Yeah, but I mean, there's just a lot has happened, and so I like to tell of a relationship of what you've already gone through, opposed to being like the length of time you've been together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because if you've been together and you've been easy peasy and whatever, and you've never had to face anything, wait until you face something. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and for me, I so much. I mean, like I learned to look at big picture instead of like the little things, like you left hair in the sink or whatever. It's like big deal.
Don't care.
Wipe out the sink and move on with your day. And, whatever. You might mention, hey, in the future, if you could remember to do that, that'd be great.
Sure.
But I don't get mad about any of that stuff anymore.
No.
I don't hold on to it. Because it's little things that don't matter.
Yep.
That was one. But the bigger thing for me was communication. Because as a young person, I had this nutty idea that you should just know what I want.
You dumb
because in movies and TV shows, it's like you're expected to know what the other person wants. You're expected to know what they expect of you.
Yep.
And it doesn't work that way. Because how on earth are they going to know what your expectations are of a relationship? And so that was a big thing for me, but it's also communication because he and I communicate so differently.
Yeah.
And it was learning, like, what he means when he says this is different than what I'm hearing. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But figuring all that out. And it's taken the full 21 years for us to be like, okay, this is what you're saying. This is what I'm hearing. And the other, being like, I'm not sure how you got that.
Sure.
Because it's like, I heard that. You heard that?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. But it is all how you're raised. It's how your brain works.
Yeah,
it's all those things.
Yeah.
And if you were raised in like a healthy parenting relationship, that also makes a difference. And, I don't think any of us were. But
no.
No.
No, I get it. And I mean, communication is so important. And here's the thing. I'm a paranoid person in general.
Yes.
Yes, we all know. But...
same.
Right. Oh, girl, I can't handle it. But I communicate so much. And so, like, every month around, like, every month anniversary, we have a conversation. And I will ask things like, do you still want to do this? Like, do you still feel invested? Like, just continually having the conversations of, like, wanting to. And it's not because he's shown anything that he doesn't want to. But it's important to me. Oh, my God. Sorry, we're at my house, and my cat has a toy, and she's being a cat. Anyway, it's important to me to have those continual conversations. I don't want to, like, stigmatize having conversations about our relationship.
Right.
And so I am always... And not to the point where, like, are you okay? Are you mad at me? Like, do you still want to do... Like,
no.
Not
right.
that.
It's different.
Not that. Yeah, it's more, like, honest...
So when you hear the thwacking sound in the background, if you hear that, it's literally the cat playing with a mouse that's hanging from the ceiling on a string. And she's being a dog.
Yep.
But whatever.
Basically. Yeah, so I just think it's important to do that and to keep that conversation going and to not let, like, silence or, comfortability make it so you just are in a routine that isn't healthy. So just always have a conversation.
Well, because I think that too many people just get comfortable.
Yeah.
And then there's, it turns into, like, apathy. And it's like, you have to keep it, like, hey, what's new? What's happening? How are you feeling about these things? Yeah. Hey, whatever it is with your thing. But it's like, you have to continually kind of check in.
Yeah.
And not be, not like, oh, are you okay? Are you mad? Oh, whatever.
And you should. It should be something you want
absolutely.
to do. Being in a relationship isn't like, oh, we're in a relationship and now that's how it is. Like, no, it's constant work. And I didn't really realize that until I got older, that, like, it's a choice to make to stay in a relationship. It's a choice every day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, like, oh, I wake up every day and I'm like, do I want to be with Gavin? Like, of course I do. But still, I know that relationships are going to take work.
Absolutely.
Just as much as I have my failings, he has his shortcomings, whatever it is, and being able to work with that, but I don't know, if you're going to be with somebody, you need to be able to fucking talk to them.
Yes, about anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing, too, is you have to be able to talk about anything, even stupid shit that you're like, I don't even want to talk about this because it sounds really dumb.
Yeah.
But I don't mind having the dumb conversations. Mm-mm. And sometimes they're like super dumb. Like I'll be like, I had the dumbest dream. Yeah. And I will tell him my ridiculous dreams that I would normally not tell him because they're so stupid.
Sure.
Or they're just bizarre or whatever. And he listens.
Yeah.
And he's also one of those people who doesn't remember their dreams. Mm. I just happen to often remember mine, and usually they're cuckoo crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Why that?
Yeah.
Why is it that crazy thing? Yeah. But we talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, not to be TMI, but one of the things that we've really started communicating about is sex. And I don't think I've ever talked with anybody at length. It's just, it happens, whatever. There was not a discussion about, well, what about this? And do you like this? And let's try this or what? None of that.
Okay.
And so that was a big change for me.
Wow.
Because though I've been a whore my whole life.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't really ever go, well,
you didn't question
but I want this.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Crazy, yeah. Look at you.
I know. As an old lady, I'm finally loosening up.
Our little girl's grown.
What's funny to me is I feel like I was a whore and a prude at the same time.
Oh, and I get that.
Yeah, because it was like it's like I wanted to have all the sex, but I also never really wanted to discuss it.
Oh,
because it's
it's
embarrassing to talk about it. I don't know why. I think probably my age, my generation. I would imagine
how you were raised. Even though your mother obviously was a prolific breeder,
right?
How do you think she got them kids? By praying about it?
She did.
Stork brought them?
Are you saying it wasn't a stork?
Well, some of the men she married, but they ugly. Girl, sin. She was talking to me about it yesterday, about her first husband and living in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Right? And in 1957, I guess as a young... Because I've heard these stories my whole life.
Yeah.
She witnessing all the racism and whatever. But I never really put it into context of her looking like her... being her,
right.
Going...
And being 17 years old.
You being 17, being fucking hugely pregnant, and living in, Jim Crow segregation South.
Yeah.
What?
When she went to the South, when she was in Mississippi in 1990, she moved down there in late 57. Yeah.
Right.
And with her husband, who she'd known for 10 minutes.
Right. Like you do.
To move in with his family, who hated the Yankee that he brought home. And it really was that whole, you're bringing a Yankee to the South. What's wrong with you? You got all these nice girls here. And obviously she was a fast, loose girl because he married her and she came home pregnant.
Yeah.
So that was their impression kind of her. But this was in the South.
Yeah.
When there were still signs that said white people only. This is or colored drinking fountains, or this is the color theater, or this is the whatever. There was that deep of segregation, where there were signs and they were proud of it.
Well, and if you've seen Grammy, you know what I mean? Maybe she hasn't always been as melanated as she is now, but she's brown. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We were talking about it yesterday, and so in my little brain, she had a moment where she was actually remembering things. I've heard these same stories before, so I was like, okay, we're on the same page. But I was a little mind blown, being how terrifying. And she's always been outspoken. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and when one of the examples she gave me, and I've heard it many times, is that she's walking down the sidewalk with her then husband, and a black person was walking towards them, and literally got off the sidewalk and started walking in the street. And she was like, "What is that? Why did they do that?" And he's like, "Well, they better know their place," and blah 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 blah. And it was like, what? What the hell? And it's like that. Now, she grew up here where the racism was quieter.
Yeah, it's much
and more subtle.
Yeah.
It still existed, and it was thick and heavy, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was more subtle. It was more behind closed doors racism.
Yep.
It was, legislated racism.
Yeah.
It wasn't blatant. I hate these people.
And there are white supremacist groups in Oregon.
Oh,
sure. But I don't, and I could be wrong. Bitch, I've been alive forever. But it's not like the South where the KKK is marching through a street, or I don't remember ever anyone telling me
burning a cross in a yard.
Yeah, not here. But the racism here is different. but still just as insidious.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, and I know I've said this before, that I always think about Margaret Cho saying how she prefers her racists, you know, in the white sheet and the hat, because at least, you know, they're not pretending to be anything different.
Yep.
You know, it's like, I know who you are because you just put it all right out there. You are saying who you are by your actions and behavior. You're not trying to pretend that you're not racist and then pulling some bullshit move.
Yes.
You know.
Well, and my good Judy Ocean, you know her. Mm-hmm. She, growing up in the South, because she's from Louisiana and she's mixed race and queer, and she said growing up in the South as a mixed race queer person was easier than being in the Pacific Northwest, because there you know who is racist, there you know who is a bigot, and here it's more like no, and then behind your back, you know.
Oh, I like the queer people. I have a gay friend,
and then they're voting to like eliminate gay people. Yes. You know, yeah.
No, and that's how I feel about that. Yep. I mean, not that obviously I have to worry about racism.
No,
being a white person.
No, but it's just like, that's the whole idea of civility. Like, oh, we're going to be civil even though you want to legislate against me. I would much rather you be telling me how much you hate me as a person than you ever be like, let's play nice. And that's why, like, the term nice to me, when people say, like, have a nice day, or she's really nice. Nice is bland, boring, beige, bitch. Like, it needs to be booted.
Nice to me feels like an obligation. Like, you were raised this way, you're expected to be nice.
Sure.
I don't like nice. I like kind.
Kind is different.
Be kind.
Kind is different, yeah.
Don't go out of your way to be mean to anybody. And in fact, just be kind, but at the same time, don't let people walk on you. Yeah. Don't be nice, because that's how girls are supposed to be. You're supposed to be a nice girl who doesn't have sex and doesn't, you know, talk back to anybody and doesn't...
Listens to mom and pa.
Doesn't wear revealing clothes or whatever. Yeah. It's like... No, I want no part of any of that.
No, me either. So what else? What else?
Well,
on the docket,
I was gonna,
ma'am.
A couple things.
Okay.
One, I'm a little. So.
Okay.
You know, our good friend Jinx Monsoon is going to be on the next season of Doctor Who.
Yes.
And playing a villain.
I know.
I love that.
I'm ready.
So, and I've never watched Doctor Who.
Okay.
So T and I the other day were like, well, why don't we give it a shot? Let's start at episode 1 of the new run. It started in 1989.
You know, the new run did not. It started in like 1999. The new run?
Where it's 89.
No. The new run started... Keep talking.
Anyway, because it originally started in 1960.
Yeah.
And then there was a break for a while, and then it started again. Anyway, so I was like, well, yeah, let's do it. Let's watch the first one and see kind of what the thing is. Because not all I really know about Doctor Who is he time travels in a TARDIS, which is like a phone booth that looks like a little phone booth on the outside, but you get inside, and it's this huge...
Okay, so it went from 1963 to 1989 and came back in 2005.
Oh, okay.
So the newer 13 seasons, one with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, those are the new 13 seasons, starting in 2005. Yeah.
All right. Well, so the one where... Anyway, it said episode 1, season 1.
Okay.
And it must be at the new run. Anyway, I about shit myself because the whole thing was mannequins and that all came to life.
Yeah!
And I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Because, as y'all know, because we've talked about it before,
yeah.
Annika and I have that thing with statues and things. They freak us out.
Yeah.
Especially if they're big.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, when all these mannequins who have no painted on features, so they have like the shape of a face, but no, all start moving and I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Did you watch? Did you finish it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas episode. Yeah.
No.
Is it not? Okay.
No. But it was just like, this is how we're starting. This is how we're starting.
Yeah. Right. In this economy.
Right.
Yeah. I love that show.
So now I'm going to have to watch more.
Yeah, because
I certainly can't wait to see when Jinxie's on there.
I know, me either. I watched the first 8 seasons, maybe. So I got through David Tennant, and I got through Matthew, whoever. He's the next Doctor after David Tennant. And I just got to the old Scottishman, whatever his name is. It doesn't... Because the Doctor just keeps changing, right? So I think I'm like 7 or 8 seasons in. It is really good. And there's lots of things like this storyline starts here and will end seasons later because it's timey-wimey, looped, weird. Right. It's lots of fun, though. And, I don't really care about a ton of sci-fi, but I love that. Hold on, I gotta go scream at a dog. You keep talking.
All right, well... What I think is super cool, I mean, I'm excited that somebody we actually know who is a queer person is going to be on Doctor Who, because that's a major program that's been on, like we said, for 150 years. So I love that. But also, it's just, this show has such a life of its own.
Yeah.
And for this little Portland girl to be on this big British show that's taking over the world.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's like, I think that Doctor Who deals with a lot of really important things. Because it talks about important issues. It talks about, like, tyranny and having dictators. It talks about alien species that want to eliminate, like, genocide, right? Like, they talk about a lot of really interesting things. It's really good. And there's an episode that has David Tennant and Catherine Tate, and it's about Vincent van Gogh.
Okay.
I wept, girl. I openly just wept. And, I cry at everything. But the show's really good. It gives you everything. It's horror, it's comedy, and wait until David Tennant and Catherine Tate come on. Because Catherine Tate, as you know...
Well, we adore Catherine Tate.
And she's like...
Because she's a brilliant...
Brilliant. So...
Love her.
Watching, because the companion... Does he have a companion yet? Blonde girl?
Well, because in episode 1, it's the original... Well, it's the original of this run, and I don't know his name.
Me either.
But yes, he meets up with this girl who he's ended up saving from the killer mannequins.
Yeah.
And then he takes her on as his
companion.
And
so then Catherine Tate becomes a companion. And I had already loved her so much that watching it, I was like, oh, she's the best companion. The number one companion. The only companion that matters. Like, they're all great. But I was so biased towards her.
Right. Well, yeah. And if you've all not seen the Catherine Tate show, find it however you find it on YouTube or on whatever. Watch it because it's so funny, and she's one of those people. She does a whole bunch of different characters, and they're all very distinctly different, and they're all hilarious.
Yeah,
and I love, like, I think my favorite though is her teenage girl.
Oh, Lauren Conrad, because
she's awful and hilarious and wonderful and stupid.
Yep.
All the things, and when she does the character, she actually looks like a teenage girl.
Oh.
And it's like, how is that possible? Because you're a middle-aged woman.
Because you're ancient. No, I'm just kidding. But it's so great. And every British actor ever has been. It's like, to me, there are a couple things that British actors all are in, and it's like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Doctor Who, and Monty Python. Like, those are the things, you know? But every British actor.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And there's some, I think, American actors, but it's predominantly British actors. It's great. Everyone should watch it.
Speaking of Harry Potter, I was watching an interview the other day with Helena Bonham Carter, and she was saying how when she played Bellatrix Lestrange, that she, read the script, she loved it, she loved Bellatrix, she was like, I have to play this character. Yeah. But she was like, I also have to make her kind of my own and do my own things with her. And she's like, so my idea was for her to be part little girl, part absolute insane person.
Yeah.
And just and she was like, and so I just had fun with it and did my own thing and whatever. I was like, well, genius.
Yeah, because you
frickin'
slayed it, girl. Yeah, it's so Bellatrix. It's like such a good character, not morally good, but she killed it. Yeah.
So in this interview, she was on the couch of the Graham Norton show with all the women that she had done the movie Ocean's 12.
Sure.
Oceans, however many, but it was all the women. It was all
Rihanna's in it.
Yeah, and they also mentioned the Met Gala, and she's like, "Oh, I've never been," and they were all like, because all these women had been. It was like Rihanna and Kate Blanchett and Sandra Bullock and whatever, and they're all like, "You've never been?
That's weird.
What? You how?" But and then one of them turns to her and goes, "Well, I think it was Rihanna." Jordan said. Well, look at how you dress.
Yeah, it's because you dress like that.
It's because you dress like that.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
But
accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, she dresses like a crazy person.
She does dress like a crazy person.
But I love it. It's very, like, whimsical. How she dresses outside of, like, acting is, like, kind of, like, ancient British, like, whimsical witch to me. You know what I mean? It's all very big peasanty skirts and
it's mostly like that she just couldn't possibly give a fuck about what anybody thinks.
No. But it's like corseted t-shirts with, like, peasant skirt. It's very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. And her hair always looks wild.
Well,
one of the other things I wanted to bring up is that,
next year
for the month of May, we're going to Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to probably do our little podcast live from Disneyland. We're going to try, or at least from our hotel room. Maybe not in Disneyland. That'd be too noisy and crazy. But what's exciting to me is you and I haven't been together since you were a teenager.
I know, girl, really long time.
And, you're so far from a teenager now.
Hey,
old lady. But were you 18? 19? How old were you the last time we went together?
Because we went when I was 15.
Yeah.
We went when I was 16 or 17.
Yeah.
I was probably 18 or 19.
Because it was when you were with Roger.
I was probably 18.
Okay.
Yeah. Because 19 I moved
so, like, half your life ago, pretty much, we went together. And so I'm excited that we're going together.
Me too.
Because, fun times.
Well, and I hadn't been... Well, I went off...
And my kids obviously have never been with you.
Yeah. I know. I'm very excited. I used to go frequently when I lived in LA. Not all the time, but enough. But then, I hadn't been in so many years. So when Gavin and I went to LA this last April, he was like, all right, we'll go. And I was like, what? So I just, driving to Disneyland, I was like a 6-year-old, finding walking.
Not the parketing and the walking. Parketing and walking.
Walking into the Disneyland. I was just shook, girl. And it was just very sweet because he was like, whatever you want to do. You want to eat food here? You want to buy souvenirs? Like, whatever I wanted. And I was like,
First of all, if somebody said to me in Disneyland, whatever you want, you can buy whatever you want. I was like, and you're paying for it? Sweet.
Honestly, but I'm not that person. I can't be like, oh my God, I love this. And then I'll be all, whoo, girl, that's too much money. Yeah, but we did get stuff. I got new mouse ears. We got a bunch of pins. Because now, since he's from LA and we want to go see his family, a couple times a year, I was like, well, we could always just go to Disneyland, why not? So we have a backpack, a Doctor Who backpack, actually.
Nice.
We got it in LA when we were there because of Disneyland, and we put a whole bunch of Disney pins on it. So that's going to be our Disney backpack, which is cute. But yeah, I'm very fucking excited to go. I'm about to go to LA in a couple days.
Yes.
On Friday.
Yes.
And I come back the day after Christmas. And then, 5 months, 4.5 months after that. We go again.
I know. And I by then it will be 2 years for me. Because we like to go like every other year if possible.
Yeah.
But, with kids and the economy and COVID.
In this economy?
I know.
Yeah, girl.
And it wasn't necessarily possible.
No.
COVID fucked everything up.
Everything.
Because it really, the last vacation we took before COVID, we went to San Diego.
Right.
And that was fun. It was great. But it all, to me, kind of had that tinge of, the world's about to end. Because by that point, it was in December. It was we left it after Christmas. And 2019. Oh, okay. And so COVID was already happening in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
But it hadn't blown up huge. People weren't dying all over the place. But I'd heard about it, I'd read about it, and it was like, this thing is spreading across the world. Yeah. Be careful, whatever. So we went on our trip. And then, obviously, in March is when everything changed. But even in December, like before it all went to shit, it was still that kind of feeling like that doom is going to happen. But nobody predicted it would be the way that it was. Shutting the entire world down. And now I think most people look at the world as pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Yeah.
It's like
different.
And then people will say things like, well, when's it going to go back to normal?
Girl, welcome to it.
This is normal.
Yeah.
Now. This is the new normal. Yeah. This is what it's going to be. Now you have to get your COVID booster every year. Well, you don't have to. You can be an anti-vaxxer, whatever. But I'm going to get my COVID booster every year.
Yeah.
Because, I don't want to die. I also just don't want to get sick.
Oh, yeah. And have you had COVID?
No.
Girl, I had COVID. And it was...
knock wood. I'm knocking on wood.
Listen, I'm not like a unique person. Everyone's had COVID. But I worked really, really hard to not get COVID.
Yeah.
I wore a mask even long after people weren't wearing masks. I wore a mask even working up until I quit Starbucks in July.
Yeah.
I was wearing a mask at work. But I got COVID last November.
Yeah.
Because Astra worked at the DMV.
Oh, right. She had just started.
She had just started and brought it home, yeah. And I'm like, it's not her fault. It's the DMV.
No, of course not.
But I was like, God damn you bitch. I worked so hard, you bitch. I know.
I wore a mask every goddamn day so I wouldn't get the COVID.
Everywhere I went, yeah.
Yeah,
but it was,
I know.
It just felt like a really bad flu.
Yeah.
I didn't, because, I'm vaccinated and boosted 20 times over, so I'm fine, but... It's not fun. It's not. It's not the tea, bitch.
I don't want any part of it, and especially being older, I know that it's worse. And, you know, my friend Alicia had it. Yeah. And she got it right after she got that RSV. Ugh. And so she now has long COVID, you know, which is where you have the effects of it for a long, long time. Yeah. Which is like, oh, God, no, thank you.
We know people who have died.
Yes.
From COVID.
Yes, my sister-in-law died of COVID. And it was like, she was one of those people who already had a compromised immune system, you know.
Yeah. But your aunt's uncle,
my aunt's uncle?
Your aunt's husband.
Oh, right.
Aunt Joe's husband.
I was like, wait, my aunt's uncle.
Your aunt's uncle, so, you know. Shut up. I don't know people.
I don't either. I don't know anybody. I don't care, though.
No, me either.
I don't like people, so that's all right.
Yeah. Sorry about it.
Oh, my God. I know that you told me to watch the season of American Horror Story, the double feature.
Right.
Now, I don't watch horror films, as you know, because we've talked about it. Because I'm too big of a baby. I get scared. I have nightmares. I literally, like a child, I will watch a scary thing and then I cry. And
it's so funny to me, though, just because I have watched some of the scariest shit I've ever seen with you. Do you know what I mean?
But I was younger.
But isn't that weird, though, to think, like, now it's like, oh, I can't. But you've seen really horror.
I have seen, like, I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre with you.
Watched The Descent, Paranormal Activity. Yeah.
The Descent.
Horrifying.
The idea of even watching that the first time is like, how did we do that?
Why did we go?
Why did we do that?
We should have been watching something
one
fluffy.
of the most horrifying movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, same.
But, you said, oh, you can do this. It's not as scary. It's kind of gory. It's well, no, I'm almost done.
Okay.
I think we have like 15 minutes left in the last episode, so everyone's dead.
Just the second part of the first part? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. It's just like, so we're watching American Horror Story. It's called Double Feature, and it's more kind of like suspenseful and gross.
And weird, yeah.
Yeah. But I've made it through. Yeah. It's taken me probably a month to watch it, because it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's like, one, we have to watch it when the kids aren't there.
Right.
Or they're in bed.
Sure.
Or whatever. And I can't watch it at night, because then I'll have nightmares.
Yeah.
Right. But we're almost done, and it was weird. Yeah. Ryan Murphy is a weird guy.
Weird. I do love all of the acting, though, in the first part of that a lot, because I love Sarah Paulson. She does a great fucking job.
Well, first of all, Sarah Paulson should win every award for everything, because she's brilliant.
Brilliant. And because if you watch American Horror Story, she's in almost all of them.
Yeah. And she's different in every one.
So different. It's magical. Ugh, yeah. I love her.
But it was nice to see Macaulay Culkin.
I love Macaulay.
And how does he look like he looked as a child? He looks like just bigger.
And
just taller.
I think I told you, he's married to Brenda Song. That a lot of us know from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Cute little Disney star. Oh my god, Disney star actress. I'm having a stroke today. But
it happens.
Macaulay just got his star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's sweet.
Yeah, and like his brothers were there, and Brenda Song was there, and Catherine O'Hara showed up.
Oh,
right, because his mom in Home Alone, very cute, and he was really emotional, and how Brenda's his rock and keeps him strong, and I was like, wow.
What, you're not gay?
And they have 2 children together.
Oh,
I know. He's just like a homosexual ally. Because he played Michael Alec in Party Monster.
Oh, that movie was fucked up.
It's also one of my favorite movies, though. I love it.
It is a good movie, but it's a terrible thing at the same time, because you're like, these people are horrible.
I know, but you know what? I also loved Michael Alec. I know he's a murderer. I know he's a murderer and dead, but blah, blah.
You know, if you're going to hold that against him, just being a murderer.
Look, we revere people who are like war heroes who also are murderers and now dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
absolutely.
What's the difference? One is just over drugs.
There's
one is just over drugs. What are you doing?
Well, one of the other things that we did on a past episode that I thought was a lot of fun was asking questions.
Oh, yeah!
Like, these, like, getting to know... Questions to get to know someone.
Yeah, could you get to know me? I don't think you know me.
I don't know you at all. Mm-mm. So, but there's, like... On this particular one, it's, like, random questions to ask your friends. Random questions for couples.
Okay. Let's do questions.
Random questions to get to know someone.
Yeah.
And random deep questions.
Ooh.
So I thought we would start with random deep questions. Okay.
I'm ready.
When was the last time you cried?
That's so stupid. I literally cry every day. I want you to know that I cry because things are too funny, things are too sad, or I'm too angry. So basically, if I feel any emotion, I cry. When
so you have one emotion, tears.
Yeah. Well, honestly, and often though, more regularly in the past couple months, it has been because of the little passing of my sweet Aunt Belly.
Sure.
So... But pretty much every day, it's been 2 months and I'm, broken over it. And so that probably, but I do honestly cry every day. Yes, I do.
Like my whole thing just disappeared.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, what the hell is happening here? Yeah, I'm same. Yeah. You know me. I cry at happy things. I cry at sad things. I cry at music that touches my soul.
Oh, girl, yeah.
I've cried, I think, at almost every Christmas movie I've watched.
Okay.
Except the Muppets.
Okay. You don't cry at the Muppets?
I didn't cry. Oh, I didn't say I don't cry at the Muppets. I don't cry at Muppet Christmas Carol. So why I'm laughing now is Annika's cat just decided to try to kill her. Because her cat is a fucking psycho.
Listen, my cat is so weird. She plays fetch. She doesn't act like a cat. She'll chase you if you slide your feet around. Like, she's a mean werepanther. Like, she'll bite me because she doesn't want to. But she weighs almost... She's 20 pounds. And mean. Like...
She's 20 pounds of cat fury.
Yeah, it's weird. Continue, I'm better.
Okay. What are you most worried about right now?
Oh. Right now.
What's funny is the next question for me ties into what I'm most worried about right now.
What I'm most worried about? I mean, the state of the world is very, very worrisome to me. Not just because, Israel-Palestine is kind of a huge center of it, but like, I was telling you this in the car that, how do you feel about the imminent collapse of society? And yes, it's horrifying. But
it needs to happen.
But it needs to happen, and so I feel this kind of like overjoyous moment because y'all listen. How many times we talk about racism, patriarchy, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia? Pick a fucking phobia. Pick something where people are being oppressed. We've talked about this before. You can't dismantle one because something else will take its place. You have to take it all down. How else are you going to take it all down without societal collapse? And I know that's horrifying, and I'm not trying to be like a doomsdayer, but like honestly, that's what concerns me.
Right.
Considering countries like, well, I have nuclear weapons. What are you going to do about it? Like, is that what we're going to do now? That's a pissing match?
I personally, and so that, kind of share what I'm most worried about, really, is that. But it also ties into the next question was, how do you think the world's going to end? Personally, here's what I've always thought. I think that, one, people are going to continue to be idiots and kill each other. Yeah. And I think at some point it's going to be a big nuclear, like, oh, you have bombs? I have bombs. I'm going to, blow you up and whatever. Yeah. But I really think in the end, with climate change and everything else, that the Earth is going to kill us.
I hope so.
And after the Earth kills us, then it will heal.
And that's accurate. And I think that's very important to remember that, grass will still grow, birds will still sing, the sky will still be blue, rivers will still run, you know what I mean? Animals will still be born, the earth will still continue even after humans are gone. Right.
I just think that it will heal itself.
Yes, because there'll be no one else to trample on it. Because animals and nature live symbiotically. And that's why if humans could get back to like an indigenous idea of nature, living alongside nature opposed to upon it, then that could change the world dramatically. But we don't. Nature is a commodity to be taken for granted, to be sold and parceled out.
Right, because you can own it, which is weird to
me.
As
fuck.
What's funny to me, and not funny ha-ha, is the only other thing other than humans that destroy their own environment is locusts.
Great.
They will literally go in, completely destroy where they are.
Oh my God.
And then move on.
Guess what?
People.
God said he was going to send a plague of locusts.
That's us.
Girl, that's us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome.
Absolutely. Do you believe in an afterlife?
Yes, but I'm not as arrogant to believe that I think I know what it is. I am not that person that's like, oh, we're going to go to heaven or we're going to go to hell.
Right.
In my mind, what I hope is that it's just a higher plane of existence. I've always thought, because as a youth, I saw a lot of people die and a lot of young people, and I thought, what was the point of them living? Do you know what I mean? If they're going to die at such a young age. And so to make me feel better, and whether this is the case or not, this is how I always felt, that they they finished what they were supposed to do. Their mission is complete, essentially. So they were able to, like, ascend, whatever that is. But if you don't complete your mission, you die before that, then you have to come back. So kind of reincarnation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if
I agree with that, too. That's how I've always felt like you keep coming back until you finish it or get it right.
Exactly.
Until you've learned your lessons. Yeah. And it's like, you know, whatever you had to learn from the past life, if you didn't learn it, God damn it, you got to do it again until you learn it.
I want you to know that I think there's something kind of appealing about just the void of darkness. I know that sounds dark and depressing, but do I really want to go onto a plane of existence? Yeah, everything's great, allegedly, but I still have to exist and witness, and you know what I mean? Like, I still have to be privy to what's happening. Like, does that sound like a good time?
No, but I don't, in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't feel that it's that way. I feel that because as you know, we are made up of energy, and energy can't be destroyed, and energy returns to energy.
Yeah.
I think it's more that. I think you just become this force of energy.
Yeah.
That though you may be aware of what's going on, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of it. Like, the void for me is like going back into the weave of life, you know? Whatever that is.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be I don't want to be an angel. Right? I don't want to be a demon.
No.
I don't want to be any of that shit. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm actually existing in a place. Like, girl, I did that. I'm tired. Thank God YOLO. Thank God YOLO, bitch, because I don't think I could do this shit again. Do you know what I mean?
No. I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah. If you had to give one thing up for life, what would it be?
Leaving my house?
There you go.
Yeah,
socializing.
Probably socializing. If I had to give up one thing for life, what would it be? I don't even know. Do you know?
No, because I'm trying to think what I would give up. And immediately my brain, because of how my brain works, I immediately go to like some food item.
Right.
That's how I think I would give up. What?
Yeah.
Getting my foofy drinks from Starbucks that are 1 million calories and have no purpose because there's no caffeine in my coffee. There's barely any coffee in my coffee.
It's just hot chocolate, or it's cold chocolate.
It's cold chocolate, I know.
It's cold chocolate milk with some coffee flavor, girl.
Yeah, that's about it.
I don't understand. I would give up any pretense. That's what I would give up. I wouldn't pretend.
Look at how deep you are.
I wouldn't pretend to like anybody. I wouldn't pretend to give a fuck. I wouldn't pretend anything, girl.
Do you now?
Well, true.
I mean, really, because I think that's one of the things that, one of the many things that you and I have in common.
Yeah.
Is, I mean, I will be kind. I will not go, it's like, by the way, I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
No. But I also don't pretend to like people I don't like.
Mm-mm.
I don't have time for it. I don't care about it. I don't want to. If I have to work with you, I have to do whatever with you. If I have to, I'm going to be polite.
Sure.
But I'm not going to be invested.
No.
I'm not going to be like, pretending to be your best friend.
No, because I don't care.
Mm-mm. And it's like, I just can't.
No.
And I feel like, and I could be wrong, I feel like most people appreciate kind of knowing where they stand with people.
Yeah.
And I know there are the people out there who will be like, I'm going to be kissy to everyone.
I'm going to win you over, yeah.
And it's like, I remember, so my friend Maria, my drag daughter, I remember her saying to me once that she was very upset because she found out that this person didn't like her.
Yeah.
And it was like, and what? They were
and
spreading rumors or whatever. It was like, what? And what? And she goes, well, it's just that they don't like me. And I go, I don't see the problem. Mm-mm. And she goes, well, I don't want people to not like me. And I go, do you like everyone?
Mm.
And she's like, well, no, of course not. And I go, well, then why should everyone like you?
Right.
And I was like, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
No.
Whether it's like, well, I like everyone, that means you're probably not real.
Oh.
If you like everyone,
yeah,
or you at least come off like... And this is super silly. There was a show in the 90s called Coach with Craig T. Nelson.
Okay.
And he was talking to his wife's best friend.
Okay.
Who he did not like.
Yeah.
Because she was this little ball of sunshine and she irritated the shit out of him.
Yeah, I would get that.
And she was like, I don't understand why you don't like me. And he goes, what difference does it make why I don't like you?
Yeah.
He's like, I learned long ago that not everyone's going to like you. And I found that very liberating.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard him say that, granted it was just a silly TV show, but when I heard him say, not everyone has to like you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And when he said, when I realized that was very liberating. And I was like, Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now I'm not like going, well, why don't you like me? And even though I would never outwardly say, why don't you like me? In my brain, I might be, not anymore, and not for many, many years, because like, that's okay.
Or it's you.
I know I'm not for everyone.
Yeah.
I am not everyone's cup of tea.
You're
I'm
barely
too much.
For me. No,
right? I know I'm a lot. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And if I'm not for you, that's also okay.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. But also, like, because you're probably not for me either, and that's okay.
Yeah, that idea of, like, caring what people think also goes with, like, oh, I'm going to change how I dress, how I act, what I like, you know, what I do. None of that.
No, because it's just, I can't.
Yeah.
I have to be me, and if you don't like me, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine with that.
Totally.
I don't even know I'm going to read this because I know what the answer to this. Do you enjoy speaking with strangers?
No, I don't. Have I spoken with lots of strangers in my life?
Of course you
Unfortunately,
have to. Yes. For me, obviously there are times in my life that I have to. There are times when everyone has to.
Yeah.
But I think it's one thing that's really funny for me is most people think because I am a performer and because I hosted a show for all those years that I'm cool with that. And it's like, no. I don't like being in a party situation where I have to schmooze unless I know every single person in that room.
Yep.
Or at least 90% of them.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't like talking to strangers because I don't feel like, what if they don't want to talk to me?
Yeah.
And they're just like putting up with it. It's like, oh God, honestly. What does she want to say? It just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I like talking to a group of people. I like being in front of a group of people. I don't want to be in the mix. I'm perfectly happy, talking to thousands of people. I don't care.
Yeah.
But don't make me talk to just that one person in the room who I don't know.
Well, and also being on stage or doing whatever is different. You want to be adored from a distance. You know what I mean? I don't want you to come talk to me. Like me from afar, bitch. Yeah, no, I get that.
I think that's another thing that I like to hug people that I know and love and be hugged. I don't want random strangers who I was like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'm coming in for a hug. Nope. Don't hug me.
Bitch, better get your hands off me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I used to be much more of a hugger until I took this course at one of the jobs I had where HR was like, not everybody wants to be hugged and not everybody has it in them to say, please don't hug me. I don't like to be touched.
Yeah.
And so you have to just like either ask, may I hug you? Or
don't hug.
Just don't hug unless you see that that's something they're open to. And they can be like, okay, I'm a hugger too, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it made me like super conscious of that. I was like, well, what if they didn't want to be touched, but they wouldn't say it because they're too...
Because they're afraid of you.
Right. Well, and who isn't?
We have to wrap this shit up, girl.
We do have to wrap this shit up because your cat's connected to your Christmas tree.
Bitch.
So, this was our 100th episode, and we're now at the end, and we hope you enjoyed it and had fun and did all the things, and we'll be back, of course, next week.
We sure will.
Well, and we'll be recording a day late because Bananica is coming home from California.
On Tuesday.
And having all the fun.
And then we come back on Tuesday, and it's Grace's birthday, and it's
all
too much.
Yeah. All the things next week. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Yep.
Solstice, whatever you celebrate.
Happy
that.
Yep.
Because there's so many things to celebrate this time of year. And celebrate them or don't. That's on you.
Yeah.
But do come back next week and do tell us what you think. And, send us emails at itwouldseemasthough@gmail.com. And like, share, subscribe, download a podcasting app. You can find us there.
Yeah.
And you'll find us starting every Wednesday. Our show comes out every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So come back.
Come check us out.
But for right now,
bye.
It would seem as though